really thought I had it this time.
Success doesn't come effortlessly. It requires you to actually do some work. The purpose of the Student Success Series is to help you prepare for success. Successful students get better grades. Successful students are excelling in school, both high school and in college. And the road to college, which you are all on, can be a bit easier for successful students. The first step in being a successful student is to understand that there is a correct way to study. It does not come by happenstance. The first volume of this series focuses on study skills to becoming a master student. Now, there are 20 memory techniques that a master student uses when it comes to studying. I know that 20 may sound like a big number, but if you learn the techniques, you'll begin to incorporate them in your everyday study habits. Plus, they're put into 5 neat categories. You organize it, you use your body, you use your brain, you recall it, and then you set a trap for your memory. Let's start with Organize It, which has 3 of the 20 techniques that focus on organizing information in a way that supports effective study habits. First, be selective. There's a difference between gaining understanding and drowning in information. As you dig into your textbooks and your notes, make choices about what is most important to learn. When reading, look for chapter previews, summaries, and review questions. Pay attention to anything printed in bold. Also, notice visual elements like tables, charts, graphs, and illustrations. Secondly, make it meaningful. One way to create meaning is to learn from the general to the specific. Before reading your next assignment, skim to it and locate the main idea. If you're ever lost, step back and look at the big picture. In information anxiety, Werman says there are 5 principles to organizing any body of facts, ideas, or objects. And I'm going to give those to you. Yes, you should write these down as well. The first one is to organize by time. Events in history flow in chronological order. Secondly is to organize by location. Addresses for large companies' regional offices are grouped by city and state. Number 3 is to organize by category. Nonfiction library materials are organized by subject categories. Fourth is to organize by continuum. Products, rather, in Consumer's Guide are grouped from highest in price or highest quality to lowest quality. Make sense? And then last, of course, is to organize by alphabet. Entries in a book index are listed in ABC order, and you can use any of these when you're organizing your bodies of facts, objects, or materials. And then the last one, and organize it, is to create associations. Relate what you're learning back to something else that you've already learned. Before taking upper level courses in college, you first got to master the prerequisites. Next, let's look at using your body in studying, which has 5 techniques. Number 1 is to learn it once actively. Take things you've learned in class or readings and apply them to your own life, like taking what you learned in a psychology class and seeing if anything about conflict resolution applies to how your family argues. Next is to relax. When you're relaxed, you absorb new information quickly and recall it with greater ease and accuracy. Next is to create pictures. Draw diagrams, make cartoons. Use these images to connect facts and illustrate relationships. Next is to recite and repeat. When you repeat something out loud, you anchor the concept in 2 different senses. First, you get the physical sensation in your throat, tongue, and lips when you voice that concept. Secondly, you hear it. Both reading something out loud and repeating it are important to learning. And last in this section is to write it down. Writing a note to yourself helps you remember an idea, even if you never look at the note again. You can use repetition here too and can write something down many times. Okay, we're about halfway there. We've talked about organizing information and using your body when studying to remember things. Let's keep pushing with the next category, which is use your brain, and it has 7 techniques. The first of these 7 is to engage your emotions. When you feel an emotion while doing something, you're less likely to forget it. You're more likely to remember course material when you're related to a goal that you feel strongly about. Secondly, in this category is to overlearn. One way to fight mental fuzziness is to know more than you need to know about a subject to the point where you can pick it apart, examine it, add to it, and go over it until it becomes second nature. Third is to escape the short-term memory trap. Short-term memory fades quickly. A short review within minutes or hours of a study session can help move material from short-term to long-term memory. Use your times of peak memory. Study your most difficult subjects during the times when your energy peaks. Next is to distribute learning. As an alternative to marathon study sessions, experiment with shorter, spaced out sessions. You might find that you get more done in 3 2-hour sessions than 1 6-hour session. Next is to be aware of attitudes. If you don't like a subject like math, it might just be because you haven't fully developed your skills there, like problem solving. Other people you know may love math. And then next is to combine techniques. These memory techniques that I'm talking about easily work better in combination. Now let's talk about the 4 techniques in recalling information. First is to remember something else. When you're stuck and can't remember something that you're sure you know, remember something else that is related to it. For example, if you can't remember your aunt's name, remember your uncle's name first, and it might help you to remember hers. Next is to notice when you do remember. Everyone has a different memory style. Some people remember things that they've read the best. Others remember what they've heard, seen, or done. Notice what you recall the best and try to study that way. Third is to use it before you lose it. To remember something for a long time, access it a lot. Read it, write it, speak it, listen to it, apply it, all of those. And then lastly is to adopt the attitude that you'll never forget. Believe, or at least pretend to believe, that you will never forget what you've learned, and it will help you access your memory. And last but definitely not least is to set a trap for your memory. When you're walking to class and you remember an assignment you have due tomorrow, do something like switching your watch to the opposite wrist to remind yourself that you have something to remember. And of course, if you need any help in these, be sure to contact your academic coordinator for your program.
Whew. Now that was a lot. Let's recap those major categories. Organize it, use your body, use your brain, recall it, and set a trap for your memory.
Woo! I got it! I got an A! I got an A! Yeah!